The Ottoman prince who almost became a Catholic king, the forgotten story of Cem Sultan. Imagine a world where an Ottoman prince, born in the heart of Islamic imperial power, ends up in the palaces of Christian Europe, wined and dined by popes and kings, not as a guest, but as a prisoner, a political weapon, and nearly, a Catholic monarch. This is not fiction. This is the true story of Cem Sultan, a forgotten prince whose life reads like a Renaissance thriller: betrayal, exile, power games, and a battle for the Ottoman throne that echoed from Istanbul to the Vatican. The birth of a contender. Cem Sultan was born in 1459, the son of Sultan Mehmed II, the legendary conqueror of Constantinople. As a prince of the Ottoman Empire, Cem was highly educated, trained in politics, warfare, and Islamic law, and he was charismatic, loved by many within the court. But the Ottoman system of succession was brutal. Unlike European monarchies, there was no strict rule of primogeniture. Instead, the sons of the Sultan often fought each other for the throne. And when Mehmed II died in 1481, a deadly struggle began between his two sons, Bayezid, the elder, and Cem, the ambitious younger prince. Civil war between brothers. Bayezid declared himself Sultan in Constantinople. But Cem, refusing to accept this outcome, gathered an army and declared himself Sultan in Bursa, the former Ottoman capital. For a short time, the Ottoman Empire had two competing sultans. The civil war was brief but intense. Bayezid's forces defeated Cem's army, forcing the young prince to flee. But Cem didn't give up. He escaped eastward and sought help from the Mamluks in Egypt, gaining temporary refuge in Cairo and support for another attempt to seize the throne. After a second failed campaign, Cem realized he could not beat his brother with military strength alone. So he made a shocking decision: he fled to the Christian West. Into the hands of the Christians. In 1482, Cem approached the Knights of St. John in Rhodes, a Christian military order. He believed they might assist him in reclaiming the Ottoman throne in exchange for peace or tribute. But instead of supporting him, the knights imprisoned him, and then sold him to the Pope. Now, Cem Sultan, an Ottoman prince and Muslim royal, found himself as a hostage of Pope Innocent VIII in Rome. The Pope saw Cem not only as a bargaining chip against the Ottomans, but also as a potential symbol of Christian victory over Islam. A Muslim prince in the Vatican. During his captivity, Cem was treated with luxury, but not freedom. He lived in the papal palace, wore rich clothes, rode horses, and even dined with cardinals and diplomats. Yet he was never allowed to return home. The Vatican considered using Cem in crusades against the Ottomans, hoping his presence would demoralize Bayezid and inspire rebellions. Some even imagined converting Cem to Christianity and placing him on the Ottoman throne as a Catholic puppet king. Meanwhile, Bayezid sent the Vatican regular payments, a sort of ransom, to ensure that Cem remained in Europe and far from the empire. The prince had become a pawn in a global game of religion, power, and empire. The French interlude and Borgia intrigue. Cem's life took another strange turn when Charles VIII of France invaded Italy in 1494 and seized him from the Pope's custody. The French king dreamed of using Cem in a military campaign against the Ottomans, possibly placing him on the throne. But Cem never got the chance. His health rapidly declined during the French campaign, and in early 1495, he died under mysterious circumstances. Some believe he was poisoned, perhaps by agents of the Vatican, perhaps by the Ottomans, or perhaps even by the French themselves. He was buried years later in Bursa, after Bayezid negotiated the return of his body. Legacy of Cem Sultan. Cem Sultan's story is one of the most astonishing chapters in Ottoman and European history. He was a man caught between worlds, between Islam and Christianity, East and West, brotherhood and betrayal. His life shows us how deeply connected the Ottoman Empire and Renaissance Europe truly were, not just through war and diplomacy, but through personal, human drama. Forgotten by most history books, Cem Sultan remains a tragic symbol of lost power, political games, and a throne that slipped through his fingers. History is often told through the victors, the sultans who ruled, the kings who conquered. But sometimes, the most fascinating stories belong to those who never quite made it. Cem Sultan never became a king, but his journey from the palaces of Istanbul to the halls of the Vatican reminds us that history is not just about empires, it's about the people caught between them. If you enjoyed this story, consider diving deeper into the crossroads of East and West, where power, religion, and ambition shaped the destiny of the world.